The King demanded answers, and he got them.
Yeah, we did.
And now
we did.
We are back for a Talking Tuesday with a lot of answers.
A ton.
But still more questions as we are within 11 days of kickoff for Ohio State and Texas. It is The Beat. He is television, 10 TVs, legend Adam King. I am merely Austin Ward. And, okay, you said 2 weeks ago this was going to be the day. You're on the record. I
circled it. I said, make sure that you watch.
And you were absolutely right. Julian Sayin is Ohio State's starting quarterback, just as you demanded and decreed.
And it's about time. I will say I am not surprised. I am a little bit surprised at the amount that he lingered that Lincoln could play. I mean, it sounds like we're going to see Lincoln, certainly in those games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But even maybe in game 1, he said there might be a package
you
for
think?
him.
Is that your next question?
It's an easy question. Now, that could be, you got to soften the blow. You know, the landing's tough when you go, you spent the last 8 months trying to be the starting quarterback at Ohio State, and now you know you are not. So, hey, you're going to play, you'll get in that game, go out there and work like it. I get that. But boy, this could end very well for Ohio State. The more that I listen to Ryan Day talk, my biggest takeaway, I think this could be a very similar trajectory to C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
I think that Oregon game could very much be a similar mindset where, and listen, Buckeye fans did not like how C.J. performed in that Oregon game.
I don't really understand why.
He was pretty good. He was pretty good. And so I do think that the world here could be, I don't know a way to put this, but like, you get a little excited. This is the beginning of Julian Sayin. Think about where Stroud was.
It's not the end.
It's not the end. Think about where Stroud was against Georgia. He was talking about this. Haskins against Maryland. Fields against Clemson. You get those moments now to watch a guy build up. You're going to get 2 seasons of this. There's no world. People tell me all the time, well, Tavian next year. Tavian's an amazing quarterback. You are not going to dethrone Julian Sayin after a year under his belt, meshing with Jeremiah Smith. Next year, it's going to be the 1-2 duo that are expected to be winning the Heisman yet again.
Sure. Yet again. They can't both win it this year.
Yeah, they can. They'll share.
Okay.
No, but the expectations now already that Sayin is named the starter is, he'll be in New York too.
His odds have already changed.
Yeah, exactly. And so I guess my biggest thing here is, if you're a Buckeye fan, get excited. I mean, I felt Ryan was a little giddy. I felt he was in the best mood we've seen all camp. He was making jokes.
I don't know. All right, let's put that in a little bit different light. The decision is over. That's a weight off the shoulders.
Yes, no, that's
but now you have a first-time starter, and you're playing against Texas.
Yes,
I don't
think he's excited. In that regard.
Don't know that he's like giddy about that opportunity. Because the other part about what you're talking about is going into that first month, and C.J. Stroud was like the Minnesota game on the road, and it's like, yeah, he won. Okay, that was the only job, and then just the entire first month of that, the evaluation, and he said they wanted to run him out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. I thought throwing for 480 yards against Oregon was pretty good. But anyway, that's all aside the point. But that's a different challenge. Okay, you have named a starter, positive. You feel good about that. But then the next step is, okay, you're putting a game plan together. You're building that chemistry, the camaraderie, whatever else. He's still trying to get command of the huddle for the first time. Julian Sayin has to get ready to do that, and there's no deep end or no easing in to the shallow end. You're being thrown straight to the deep end off the high dive against Texas. Like, that's not something that I think anyone loves to do right off the bat.
But
you could be right.
No, you're exactly right. I'm certainly not excited that they start with Texas. I think that's very clear. I think he'd like to get a couple games under his belt, settle Julian into, because as you heard him say yesterday, there is no, when you hear the fans, when you take the field, you can't replicate that in practice.
No.
There's no way to do it. But I think there has to be a little bit of excitement in the idea of, okay, I've now told Julian he's the guy. Let's see if that changes. I think it innately will change a human being to no longer be in a competition and to be able to go out there, play loose, play free, still do the routine plays routinely, but
I've heard that's important.
That's what I always say. Routine plays routinely. I'm going to get a shirt that says it. Every other year we say that around here. But I do think that's got to be in the back of Ryan's mind. And he kind of mentioned it in himself when he was a quarterback in a QB competition.
Yeah.
It allows you to breathe. And so I want to see what Julian Sayin looks like now that he's taken a deep breath, now that he's going to get all of those reps at one. Although Ryan did say Lincoln's still going to get a few. But
I was a little bit surprised that he said that, because if all lights now are pointing in one direction, you're laser focused on Texas, and it goes back to what you said initially. It was like, was the door opened? It sounds like more than you anticipated for Lincoln Kienholz to play some role. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean he's absolutely coming in on the series number 3 like we saw with Devin Brown at Indiana a couple years ago.
That worked really well.
Which didn't work out. And he definitely didn't go as far as saying, well, this could be a red zone specific package or short yardage. Like, I think it's probably more like get him ready just in case, because whether it's 16 games or at some point in the middle of a physical battle against Texas, that Lincoln needs to be ready to go. And I would have thought this week in particular, as you're getting ready, like, all right, well, now it's 75, 80% or more for Julian Sayin to get ready for Texas. And I don't know exactly what that breakdown is going to look like. Ryan Day didn't give us that information. Not surprised that he didn't. But he made that point, as you brought up several times, that Lincoln has to be prepared as if he's going to start a game.
When I look at kind of his reaction to naming the starter, it did feel a little bit like if we didn't exist, if you removed the media, I don't know that Ryan would have walked out today and said, he's my guy. Now, I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Well, because you said 2 weeks ago that he had to do it.
I did. I put the pressure on him, and I apologize, Ryan. I was right, and everybody that watched Talking Tuesday 2 weeks ago, Adam was right. That's the first time in my life.
It might have even been 3 weeks ago.
It was like a month ago. I actually said it back in January. I do think that this is a good thing, but I also, with the Lincoln side of things, he's a great quarterback. I think he's well exceeded expectations. And so I don't say this as a detriment. I don't think that Lincoln Kienholz is that different than Julian Sayin, where you would create a Lincoln package. That's one place that I have really had a hold up this year, is that every person, when they talk about Lincoln, this athlete. He's an amazing, unbelievable athlete. But at the end of the day, I don't think that his athleticism is enough where you say, let's get Julian Sayin off the field, let's get Lincoln in. He's not Braxton Miller. He's not Justin Fields. So At what point are you in the red zone saying, oh, you know what? We got to get the guy that can run in. Because Julian Sayin is mobile. Yes, he's not as physical as we saw with Will Howard. He's not as mobile as maybe even Devin Brown. But I don't think that Lincoln...
I think he's probably more mobile than Devin Brown, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Devin was all talk about his mobility. He's a great guy, but I
don't think it matched the reality.
No, that's a very good point. We saw it a couple of times, and I just don't. That's what I don't understand. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they put Lincoln in and they run the read option a few times, and it's great. And I could very well, we talk about being the slant king. He was great at that. If you're going to put him in there and you need 4 yards and you think that having maybe a little RPO with Lincoln that keeps the defense on the toes, that's fine. But I just feel like at this point, it should say Sayin full go in here. Let's ride.
No, I don't disagree with you on that at all.
You don't have to disagree with me anything, by the way.
That's true. Yeah. I try to avoid it because you are always right.
Thank you very much.
But whether this goes all the way back to JT Barrett or when Ohio State tried to use it with Devin Brown, I'm not in favor of 2 quarterback situations. And I don't think that Ohio State should go into the Texas game trying to manufacture red zone situations, short yardage opportunities with Lincoln Kienholz. I am on the same page as you, and I think that by and large, Ryan Day's experiences would point him in the same direction. If Julian Sayin can run a little bit, then, and that's what you feel like you have to do in the red zone, then let him do that. Because you've already decided, and you've told the world.
The decider's decided.
That the decider has decided that the arm talent and the passing ability is what is determined this job, right? That's not my opinion. That's not your opinion.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Day's opinion. What does he have to do? He has to be accurate. He has to be able to touch every part of the field, make every throw. And Julian Sayin can do that. Those throws get more complicated in the red zone. And I don't think you want to remove the ability to throw. And I'm not saying that Lincoln Kienholz can't do that. We've talked about him pushing in the competition all along.
He did look good in those red zone drills that one day.
He very much did.
Yeah.
But I've been on the record in the past, and I'm not changing it now. I don't think that a quarterback rotation is the way to go. Are there games where you want to get them both involved? Grambling, Ohio? Absolutely.
Yeah, because you want reps.
But if Julian Sayin is the guy that you think gives Ohio State the best chance to beat Texas, then let him go beat Texas.
I will say, moving away from the quarterbacks, because it is Talking Tuesday.
Yeah, it is. We're going to talk to the defensive backs
Yes.
on Tuesday at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center.
And that includes safeties.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out Caleb Downs is going to start for this team.
That was big.
Ryan
That was
Day
big.
did confirm that he is a leader of the secondary.
He's also a captain of the Buckeyes.
I was stunned,
Yeah.
to say the least. And so one thing that I really want to ask those guys is how much of the defense against Texas is going to be the Ohio State defense versus how much are you guys preparing a scheme for Texas? Because I feel like if this Texas game was week 6, you can scheme solely for Texas. You can, Matt Patricia's got an analytical mind like no one you've ever seen. He can have fun with that. But right now, you're just trying to get guys to have the right signals. You're just trying to get guys, to understand the base game plan in a game setting. So I would love to know, they talk about these next 2 weeks, how they're using it. I mean, pretty much Ryan Day said, we're done with fall camp. He said today, we're moving on, turning the page.
They were never in fall camp. They were in training camp.
Fall camp. They're done with fall.
And he said,
I'm looking right now. You guys can't see on camera, but there is a tree and the leaves are orange on it. Now, I don't know if the leaves are always orange, but it looks like a fall tree. And so
it's 95 degrees outside.
No, it's beautiful fall weather.
The tree can't breathe.
It's beautiful fall weather here at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Pay no attention to the giant fans that are keeping us from sweating.
And the lights are off.
I want to know.
Sorry to derail you.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's 98% of my job. I want to know, what is the amount of base game plan versus, okay, we have Arch Manning in Texas, let's scheme it up this way.
Yeah.
I think we can all remember when they played Notre Dame to open the season.
I do remember
It was
that.
the first game of Jim Knowles' career. And the first drive, I can't remember who he sent, but he sent someone on a blitz. And the tight end snuck out, and it was like a 60-yard pass play.
To Lorenzo Styles.
Is that who it was? It wasn't a tight end, that's right. It was Lorenzo Styles. Wow, I forgot about that. It was Lorenzo.
He makes big plays in Ohio State
He
openers.
does. That's
all
crazy.
he
I
does.
forgot about that. And so he sneaks out. They hit Lorenzo. We took a risk on it was like a third down, like the third play of the game.
Right.
How do you balance that versus let's keep everything in front of us. Let's just manage this game as if Texas was Grambling. Because you're not going to scheme up Grambling State. You're just going to play them your base game.
That's a scrimmage.
Yes, exactly. How much is this a scrimmage in their eyes where they need to focus on just being themselves?
Yeah.
Go out there and be yourselves. Go out there and tackle. Go out there and make sure the guy that's drawn up for you to cover is your guy. Or is Caleb Downs and this defense sitting there preparing explicitly for Arch Manning?
Well, I think it's a great question, and Ohio State has to be itself, and I think they're going to be a very aggressive team. Now, I don't know what that means in terms of how prevalent the blitzes are, but I know that there's going to be a lot of different looks and a lot of different fronts. That's going to be an adjustment for Arch Manning. You have to challenge him. For all of this notion that Texas is rolling in with a proven, established quarterback just because the last name is Manning is folly.
Wrong.
Yeah, he's
wrong.
He's got to come in and deal with the silver bullets. And Matt Patricia knows more defense than most people will ever learn. It's forgotten more defense than anyone will ever learn.
It's so wrong, this idea. It's just wrong.
It's very wrong.
I mean, the idea, Texas returns like 10 starters, if that.
And 4 new offensive linemen that they have to play in front of Arch Manning. So to your point, I don't know that it's going to keep things in front of you, because I think Ohio State's got to play on the front foot in this matchup. And that means if you might see Arvell Reese coming from this location, you might see, CJ Hicks doing this over there. Maybe you'll see different, configurations with Caleb Downs. I don't know that Caleb's going to reveal that. I asked Matt Patricia, because I know he's not going to say this is exactly how often or when, how, where it's going to happen. Like, what's the thought process? And get him close to the football. I don't know that this is the game that he's referencing. That feels like more October on the road in the Big Ten.
That's the thing is you got to get them up there for a run heavy. The problem is if you get Caleb Downs up towards the line of scrimmage and Arch Manning makes a guy miss, you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, that puts other guys in the spotlight for Tuesday. Is like, okay, Matt Guerreri, Tim Walton, what is your level of confidence? What is the way you plan to deploy a Jalen McClain or Malik Hartford at this point? I think that there are really good questions about the way that the secondary is going to line up. And it's going to look different from week to week. But one thing we know for sure is that Steve Sarkisian is going to do misdirection. He's going to try and attack down the field. We saw that when they had success in the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State.
But are we sure? Because here's my thing, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No, I'm not sure. That's what I expect.
If I could talk to Steve Sarkisian, if he was at availability tomorrow, today on our Talk on Tuesday.
You can go down to Austin. There's flights.
Because this is, again, it's wrong. It's so wrong. The idea that Texas is coming in here with the same Cotton Bowl team. They're trying to piece things together, too.
Right.
They're not coming in here running trick plays or coming in here thinking they got Ohio State. This isn't the same offense. Arch Manning has not played a defense the level of Ohio State. He played one snap in the Cotton Bowl. They lost so many guys. They're restructuring their offensive line. So I just think this idea that Texas is going to come in here with some master game plan, I think, if I haven't done a score prediction, but I think this game is going to be like 24-17. I think it's probably where we wind up. And that might be high scoring in a lot of eyes because I don't see it. I don't think Texas is going in, come in here as fluid as maybe they looked last year when they went to Michigan. Now, that may be because the Wolverines were a not great football team.
Yeah.
But they cooked that Michigan team. You could clearly tell they were ready for that moment.
They scored 14 points with all of those veterans and with a multi-year starting quarterback against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. So the assumption that
14.
Arch Manning and a completely new cast of characters around him would be able to come in and do this, even match or surpass that to some extent, is a little bit wild to me. I'm not buying it.
It's wrong.
But the thing is,
how many times do you think I can say wrong? I was kind of hoping that I could get it up in the double digits.
You're there.
People in the comments would be like, "Can this guy stop saying the word wrong?"
No, they'll love it. The countdown is on. It's like the king.
There was something in the comments that.
Oh, there is? Okay.
But apparently I said something a lot a couple shows ago, and I can't remember what it was, but I needed to take notes to remember I don't say it all the time. Like,
well, it feels like.
The reality is. I said the reality is like 47 times, and I was like, that's not true. And then I went back and listened. There were a lot of realities.
Check the tape.
Yeah, check the tape. The tape was right. There were a lot of realities talked about.
Yeah, but the wrong was for emphasis here.
That's right. The wrong is for wrong. Wrong.
There we go. That's got to be 30.
15.
I think it's
30.
So don't sell yourself short.
I'm tired of the sleeping on Ohio State because
of reasons.
Because
we don't even know why.
But because they act like Ohio State just rehauled everything. I heard something today on the TikTok, and there's too many people with microphones in front of them. I may be one of them, but they said on TikTok, like, Ohio State has lost everybody. They're rekindling everybody. C.J. Donaldson, nobody knows who that is. That's his best running back. That's a problem. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, Texas is rekindling. Texas is a great football team. They're number one team in the country for a reason. But to act like what's going on here in the Woody is going to be just a complete reset, I mean, it's ridiculous. They have the two best players. Did you see that video of Jeremiah Smith? I mean, they got the two best players in the country, and they know it. We get to hear from one of them in Talking Tuesday today.
Yeah, I've seen videos of Jeremiah. I've seen them in person. They're pretty impressive.
They are very impressive.
Can't wait to hear from Caleb Downs. Yeah. First time as an Ohio State captain, by the way.
That's true.
So we'll get that later on Tuesday at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. And I'm never taking away this microphone from Adam King, especially not on a Talking Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us on 97.1 The Fan or 10 TV's YouTube or 10 TV Plus. Or if you somehow didn't want to look at this beautiful hair and you've been downloading the audio only, I implore you, just take a look once and see what this man is bringing to the table. He does it for you all.
Watch me say the word wrong 32 times.
Wrong.
Wrong.
There it is. Got a little few more in there to sneak in. Still way more coverage. Again, a week and a half away. We're going to probably jump on 10 TV a couple times, Birm and I. Let's take the Austin and Birm show on the road and on some different
I love it. They're great together. You guys should do a show together.
Well, maybe we will.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do some snap judgments after we hear from the Ohio State secondary later today, which is Tuesday at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. For Adam King, I am Austin Ward. We'll see you later.